This right here is an XY Evolutions booster box. It's insane to me how expensive these have gotten, but we're gonna give this one away. We are gonna give this one away as a token of my appreciation, my gratitude, a huge thank you for passing 95,000 subscribers on this channel. So thank you very much. We're gonna give away this Evolutions booster box to one of you guys, and if you want to win it, all you have to do is just hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like on this video, leave a comment on this video, and boom, you are entered to win that sealed XY Evolutions booster box. Come back next Friday. That's when we're going to announce the winner. So just subscribe, like, comment, boom, you are entered. We've been giving away something every 1,000 subscribers ever since we hit 90K. And once we get to that 100,000 mark, it's going to be absolutely nuts. We're going to have, hopefully, maybe, the biggest ever Pokemon giveaway on YouTube. We've got 3 vintage booster boxes. We're going to give away, we're going to break all of them, break all the packs, give away all the packs, 100 different winners. It's going to be absolutely insane. But I do owe you a giveaway from last week Friday. We told you for 94,000 we were going to give away this Burning Shadows booster box. So if you watched last Friday's video and liked and commented, you are entered to win this one. And the winner is Prestige Trainer Jesse. Congratulations. Your comment was randomly selected by the YouTube comment picker thing. So congratulations to Prestige Trainer Jesse. You are the winner. I just need you to message me your details, some verification things. You can find me on Instagram at Danny.Phantump. You can message me there, or on Twitter at Danny__O, or you can just shoot me an email, DannyPhantumpContent@gmail.com. Congratulations. If you want to win the Evolutions box, like I said, just hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment. Boom! I'm done selling out. Let's talk about Crown Zenith, Crown Zenith, whatever you want to call it. I love Crown Zenith, and I don't know how you guys feel about Crown Zenith, but it is such a fantastic set with a PHAN. It is beautiful. The artwork is just absolutely sublime. I know prices have crashed a lot on singles, and that's what we're going to go over in this video here. Maybe you should buy them now. Maybe you should hold off. I think you should hold off a little bit longer yet. We're a little bit over halfway through the releases now, because today drops the official release of the Galarian Bird tins, those beautiful tins, the Moltres, the Articuno, and the Zapdos. Absolutely gorgeous artworks, but because there's more singles, more packs hitting the market, a lot of these packs that are getting cracked, bringing singles down. So a lot of big price crashes that we're going to be looking at in today's video, but who cares, right? I mean, the set is absolutely gorgeous. It's so much fun to open with the better hit rates, the better pull rates, and with Scarlet and Violet coming out, this has been such a good segue to kind of put an end to Sword and Shield. It's absolutely beautiful set. I love it. I'm not even really concerned about the prices at all. Like, that'll rebound over time, but it's just so much fun, so enjoyable. We've had a couple of sets in the past that actually feel like you can master the set, like Celebrations, Pokemon Go, where the set didn't feel super overwhelming. A lot of those sets in Sword and Shield felt very overwhelming, especially sets like Evolving Skies, Chilling Reign. Once you hit 100 different and unique ultra rares with pull rates staying the same, it just feels impossible to kind of finish those masters. It feels different with Crown Zenith, and even though there's a lot of ultra rares in the set, it actually feels possible to open up a master set, or at least open up a good majority of it, and then maybe buying some of these singles, some of these ones that have really dipped in price. So I'm going to flip you guys around so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, the price change hasn't impacted too much when it comes to the Elite Trainer box. This has gone down very little in price over the past few weeks or so. It's still had a 6-month high or so, really since release. It kind of edged up to about $65. These are still a little difficult to find. You can find them in big box stores, retail stores. Every once in a while they pop up, they have restocks, but you can see at one point in time it did drop down a little bit below that MSRP point, and then really since release started climbing. There is no word on reprints. If I was a betting man, which unfortunately I'm really not, I would assume there will be another wave of Elite Trainer boxes. I wouldn't expect that though until May, June, once we've gotten through all the Crown Zenith releases, once we've gotten into Scarlet and Violet a little bit, maybe then we'll get a restock of the Elite Trainer boxes based off of historical data, the historical things that have happened with sets like Hidden Fates, Shining Fates, Celebrations, you name it. Any specialty set really has had additional print runs of the Elite Trainer box. So it wouldn't surprise me if we did get another print run of the Elite Trainer box, but there have been additional products that have come out that have really impacted the price a little bit. So if you look at the Crown Zenith booster pack, for example, these have really started going down in price ever since the release of the mini tins, which are still available on Pokemon Center's website. You can still find mini tins all over the place. The sealed case, very difficult to find, but if you're just looking to crack a few of them, remember the mini tins have been really the best bang for your buck because you're getting 2 packs for basically about $4.50 per pack. You can see at one time a booster pack of Crown Zenith was selling for about $6.40, and it's really gone downhill since then. I pulled this data a couple days ago from TCG Player down to $4.94. It actually wouldn't surprise me if this went down even further. Like I said, we're a little bit over halfway through the releases now for Crown Zenith, but these Galarian bird tins, there was quite a few of them that were printed, so it wouldn't surprise me if some of the store owners who are having trouble moving those kind of crack those, sell the promo cards by themselves, and then kind of sell off the booster packs without the actual tin themselves. And once we get the next release, which comes in the middle of April, is the 3-pack blisters, if you want to call them that, but the little pin collections, those are going to be cracked a lot, I think, to kind of sell the loose packs and things like that. We also have the Morpeko V Union box that comes out in the middle of April. I don't think a lot of people will be cracking those to get the packs out. And then at the beginning of May, the last product comes out. That's the premium collections that are coming out for Crown Zenith. So really this whole spread out release schedule for Crown Zenith seems to be working extremely well, with packs, singles really starting to go downhill, and not really too much concern about scalping at this point in time once we got through that initial Elite Trainer Box wave. So if we start looking at things, there's a lot of data here because I've been tracking Crown Zenith really since release. So if you look at the actual images themselves, these are snips that I pulled from TCG Player on release day of Crown Zenith, just to see how this set performed and really to kind of get a good borderline idea of what some of these specialty sets are. I'm a very data-driven person, so kind of keeping track of this really helps me kind of apply it to future specialty sets and things like that. But you can see like Illuminian, for example, selling for $18.77 on opening day. Well, then we looked at the release schedule a couple weeks, or we looked at the release prices a couple weeks later to see where it was at, and it dropped down to $16, which was about a 14.5% drop. Now, historically, we've seen a lot of regular sets drop 50, 60% in prices a couple weeks after drop. Crown Zenith was a little different. Much less drops when it comes to some of these, but it's making up for it now as we've gotten some more substantial drops down the road. So February 6th, it stayed at $16. That means it was relatively flat. So 2 weeks have passed. Now we've got over a month that has passed, and it's dropped down 19.5% from where it was in February. So now it's $13.40. A beautiful card, Luminian V, very cool looking card, competitive card. A lot of people play it in decks. Dropped all the way down to $13.40, almost a 20% drop for that Luminian V. I'm not going to go through all of the numbers for every card. I'm just going to kind of highlight the newest drop that we've seen. So Raihan, for example, has dropped about 2% since February, so not too far of a drop for Raihan, but also was already pretty low, went from $6.72 down to $6.60. Grant actually did have a fairly substantial drop despite the fact that it was already relatively cheap. So it's really close to where it was after its initial release. So when we looked at the price point at the end of January, it had dropped down to $3.34, which was a huge drop. It was almost 80%. Came back a little bit, increased 26% at the beginning of February. Now it's dropped back down closer to where it was a couple weeks after release. It's down to $3.48. So it's dropped 21% over the past month and a half or so. That Drapion V, very interesting. When I was in Knoxville vending the regional over there, a lot of competitive players really like the artwork on this Drapion V. Drapion V, a very good deck card because it really counters Mew extremely well. So a very popular card, and it's relatively cheap, relatively affordable, which really explains why it's been relatively flat since release. So January 23rd, it dropped all the way down to $10, then gained about 7% of that back to $10.69. Now it's dropped about 5% since then, so it's at $10.21, but really relatively flat ever since a couple weeks after release at the end of January there. The Regigigas V-Star has dropped double digits, so almost 15% on this one. It went from $15.26 down to $13.30. The Roxanne has also dropped almost 20%, so this is back to where it was basically a couple weeks after release. It was at $9.51, gained a little bit back, went up 26% to almost $12. Now it's back below $10. It's dropped 19.74%. If we look at the Adaman, this one's stayed relatively flat, so it had a pretty large drop a couple weeks after release, dropped down to $9. Then it dropped another 27% on top of that, down to $6.54. Now it's stayed relatively flat ever since then, so it's sitting at $6.59 currently. The Hisuian Samurott V has dropped over 20% over the past month and a half. You can see it rebounded a little bit at the beginning of February. Now it went back down to its lowest point since release, sitting at $10.51, so it's dropped 21.41%. Chorus's Experiment kind of going in the opposite direction. Chorus's Experiment actually performing extremely well. A lot of that has to do with its competitive connotations that are associated with it. Very cool looking card, but you can see when it was released, it was right around $18.78, then dropped down to $11 $15.50. It suffered a 39% drop the opening couple weeks. Then at the beginning of February, it went back up a little bit to almost $12. Now it's gained an additional 15%, sitting at $14 currently. If we look at the Zamazenta V, this one has dropped only about 10% over the last month and a half. So basically what it gained since January 23rd, it's dropped back off. So it's sitting at $12.25 currently, which is basically right around where it was a couple weeks after release. Zero Aura V-Star has been dropping ever since release, down another 8% to $12.75. That's the lowest price we've seen from that card. The Zero Aura VMAX has also been dropping a little bit. That's down 11.5%, down to $14.46. So basically where it was at the same point a couple weeks after release. Zacian V has actually gone up 8.31%. So this one actually performing very, very well. You can see after release, a couple weeks after release, it went up 6% from $17.01 to $17.99. Now it's gained another 8% on top of that, sitting at $19.62 currently. So a really cool artwork card that a lot of people are kind of appreciating, willing to pay a little bit more money for. The Hisuian Samurott V-Star kind of going the opposite direction, had a huge drop right out of the gates, all the way down to $9.50. It dropped almost 60%, gained a little bit back, went 18% in the green after that, up to $11.25. Now it's backed off to the same point where it was a couple weeks after release. It's lost 21% since then. Melanie has gone up a little bit, but suffered huge drops after the first couple weeks of release, so it fell all the way down to $11.13. Dropped a little bit more, 3% down to $10.75. Now it's gained a little bit of that back, only a little bit over 4%, sitting at $11.21 currently. The Raikou V, very cool looking card, but suffered some huge drops over the last month and a half. It's dropped 33.33%, so it's went from $28.56 down to $21.42. So that's $6 cheaper than it was a couple weeks after release. So basically $6 cheaper than it's ever been. The Simisear V-Star dropped another 10%, so that one back to the point where it was a couple weeks after release. It went from $19.20 down to $17.52. The Entei V, very cool looking card, also suffered pretty substantial drops over the last couple month and a half or so, down almost 30%. So it went from $25.50 down to $19.67, the lowest this card has been. Very cool looking card. I love that card art. The Deoxys V-Star. I can't even talk because I try and talk too fast. I'm just trying to save editing. 9.95%, almost 10% this has dropped over the last month and a half. It's went from $17.57 down to $15.98. The Darkrai V-Star has gone from $28.38. This is a fan favorite for a lot of people, down to $26.44, 7.34% drop. That's the lowest this card has been. The Hisuian Zoroark V-Star, another favorite for a lot of people. This one actually increased in price, got bought out a little bit after release. Went from $35, dropped 17% down in $29.11. Now it's dropped another 5% on top of that, down to $27.82. The Glaceon V-Star also suffered a very large drop, almost 31% on this one. It's dropped almost $10 from $39.20 down to $29.98. Cynthia's Ambition continues to drop. These full art supporter cards from the Galarian Gallery not performing anywhere near as well as their counterparts from V-Star Universe in Japan. This one dropped 40% right out of the gate, from 26 down to 22.77, then dropped another 12%, and now it's dropped another 25% on top of that, down to $18.21. The Gardenia's Vigor also dropped another 23% from $13.23 down to $10.77. That's the cheapest we've seen that card. The Leafeon V-Star has dropped 21%. So this is another card a lot of people that have enjoyed, that's dropped over 20% from $43.15 down to $35.66. The Suicune V also following suit with that, over 20% of a drop. It's dropped 24%. It's been dropping ever since it came out, from $37.87 down to $30.53. Lovely artwork, but just more people pull it, more people open it, and it just brings the market down. Well, like we said, it's okay. I mean, it just makes it more available for additional people. Irida kind of suffering the same thing. It's dropped since it's come out, another 16.28%, from $20.71 down to $17.81. Now we've got some of the gold cards. A lot of these gold cards kind of got bought out right after release, and they're really starting to suffer a little bit. The Arceus V-Star we're looking at right here went from $107.54. It's lost about $21. There's only one card now in Crown Zenith that's over $100, and that's the Giratina V-Star, which we'll talk about in just a second. But $107.54 down to $86.73. That's a 24% drop for the Arceus V-Star. The Palkia V-Star dropped 17.2%. It's been dropping ever since release. Went from $61.40 down to $52.39. That beautiful Deoxys VMAX that looks like the orbital spaceship is just beaming them up. Dropped 11.79% from $20.10 down to $17.98. The Mewtwo V-Star had a fairly significant drop. It was over $100 at $104.26. Now it has fallen to $89.30, so it's dropped almost 17% over the last month and a half. Here's the Giratina V-Star that we were talking about. Look at how low it has come from where it was at 182 a couple weeks after release, then down to 154.75. Now it's lost over $40 since release. 140.15 is its current price point. It's dropped 10.5% over the last month and a half. The Dialga V-Star, this one had a very large drop, the biggest drop out of all the gold cards. It's dropped 32.5% from 66.60 down to 50.23 for a long time. This was more expensive than Palkia. It is now the cheapest gold card in the set. The Radiant Charizard suffered a 56% drop, which is absolutely insane for this Radiant Charizard. It went from 11.42 down to 7.32. Friends in Sinnoh, this one actually stayed relatively level, went from 14.39 down to 14.34. The Friends in Hisui, these ones have been kind of going back and forth, trading back and forth here. This one's dropped almost 20% from 16.48 down to 13.77. Alessis Sparkle has been really flat ever since release. You can see a couple weeks after release, it was right around $30 at $29.30, went up 9% to $32.01, and now it's come down to $30.39. Only dropped 5.33%, so that's not bad for Alessis Sparkle. Then we've got the Secret Rare Pikachu, which is absolutely gorgeous. I love the artwork on this card. Who cares that it's cheap? Who cares how cheap it's gotten? $30 down to $29.18, but look where it was when it originally released. Right on release day, it was selling for $70, right down to $30, then down to $29.18. Now it's dropped an additional 48% on top of that, down to $19.76, which is absolutely insane. But who cares? Because like I said, look at the artwork on it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I am curious to know what you guys think. I don't think that we're done yet with these drops. I really don't. I think as packs continue to come down, people are going to be cracking packs for a while. I think people are really going to enjoy getting these tin promos from the Galarian Birds, and I think that over the next couple months, we're going to see even lower prices come out of some of these singles. So some of them you may want to start looking at as we move forward to that Scarlet and Violet set. Maybe you want to close the book, close the binder on Crown Zenith, but for the most part, I think some of these are going to start coming down even more than what we've already seen. I hope you guys enjoy the content. If you do, hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment, share the video if you wouldn't mind. I really appreciate you guys. Make sure you do all those three things so you can enter to win this XY Evolutions booster box. It still baffles me how expensive these have gotten. Still will always baffle me. But thank you so much, guys, for everything. You guys mean the world to me. I really, really appreciate you. We'll be back on Sunday, hopefully with an opening video. Until then, guys, hope you have a great weekend. Peace.